Hello and welcome to another video from FPL Gents. This is Oscar, and today with me I have Jürgen Rogeberg. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Pretty close. I should be pretty close because I'm Scandinavian as you are.
Yeah.
But you're called the Yogi on Twitter and social media. How come?
Well, if you've tried to stay with a bunch of English-speaking natives, try telling them how to pronounce Jurgen, and
Yeah, I see.
then the nickname Yogi just appeared, and it's pretty much been that ever since.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with yoga.
No, nothing to do with yoga.
Okay,
Unfortunately.
cool. Okay, but you've been into FPL for some time, right?
Yeah, this is my third active year, so sometime at least.
Yeah, I saw your recent season history. It's on
Yeah.
the screen, and so first season, obviously, okay rank. Did you start the season in game week 1? By then?
No, I started it in game week 5 actually.
Okay, that's a
So
pretty good rank then.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
and
was
yeah,
decent.
yeah, and last season, nice rank too. What did you do? What do you feel?
Last season I'm quite satisfied with. I should have been better, but I went into a little dry spell in pretty much this time, I guess, last year, where I went a little bit too risky.
Okay,
Call it that.
what was the risk you took then?
It was just about the time when Lingard was firing off on every cylinder.
Okay,
And I had some success the last season doing risky captain choices, doing Hazard when no one else did it, doing a bunch of different ones, and everything looked quite good with Lingard in before the Stoke game. It was, and then I thought, oh heck, let's just try capping Lingard for that, and after that, it kind of went down south. I think I did a bunch of maybe stupid, rushed, risky decisions that maybe put me off a little bit. So I dropped pretty far. I think I was outside the top 50K for a while there. So it was rather dramatic drop, I felt.
okay, but cool comeback anyway.
Yeah, that was a little bit luck as well, but
Okay,
I
nice.
don't know if we
We
can
need the
call it
luck.
luck, but yeah.
We need a mix of skill and luck. So how do you feel? Have you changed any strategies this season, or do you have some strategies that you stick with as well?
Well, I think this season might be my best one, like strategy wise, because it's more, call it a stable strategy. Like the first year I had, or last year, it started the season with risky choices, moving early on players, punting on captains, punting on this, and it was quite fun. And then it stopped being fun because it didn't succeed anymore. And then I went just slow and templatey and set and forget captain has Salah, it was, I guess. And just being slow, patient, and doing the dull game, and that made me rise again. So I guess this year my tactic has gone into being the patient one while still doing some early mover risks, but trying to have that good template in the bottom of it so it doesn't really risk too much, I guess.
So that's interesting. You talk about early risks. You mean early transfers then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sort of like I did this year. I tried Lingard again because I had some recent success, and obviously that wasn't the correct player.
But how would you describe your like strategy with transfers and managing the team value?
Well, my transfers is, I don't know if I have like a concrete strategy for it. And it's more like a review-based process, I guess. After one round, I look at the player who performed, who didn't, and then I start looking at their fixtures and their form as an overall, and look at some underlying stats. And Like the most recent example I have is Callum Wilson from Bournemouth that I've grown tired of for a while, and he's an easier option to drop, obviously, because he's a cheap one, but he hasn't performed in a while. The team look kind of horrible and then don't have a good run of fixtures. So that's one point of the transfer strategy. And then you have the formation wise, who are you obviously going to play more come the next game weeks. So right now it seems like I would play Jimenez more than Wilson anyway. So because he keeps on banging in goals every now and then, and compared to what Wilson has gone on a drought. So yeah, I think it is a weird, complicated process of weighing up fixtures form, looking at the rest of the team and what my forward plan is, and also just how the prices are moving at some sort. So but in the end, I guess it's just a gut feeling from watching a lot of football.
Yeah, cool. Do you know your team value
I
roughly?
think I'm at 104.9 or something.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
decent, right?
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
quite satisfied with that.
yeah. So, like, how early is there anything like too early for you, or could you just go right in between games, or?
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah.
I'm pretty slow at doing transfers. I usually wait till the press conferences are done.
Okay.
Not risking anything. At least maybe in the beginning, I'm a little bit faster because prices are jumping everywhere in the beginning of the game,
Okay.
and then you go
Yeah.
2-3 weeks in, and then I try to wait at least until the press conferences are done, because you never know if there's an unforeseen knock on someone in training, so it's always good to just wait it out and be the patient one.
Yeah. Have you been punished by early transfers, or is it just like your logic that says that it should work with late transfers?
I can't recall any early transfer that have. No, not that I can recall actually. So
Okay.
it's just, I don't know, just logic says that wait and get as much information as you can.
Yeah. Cool.
People are getting injured.
Cool. Well, I'm interested because I feel I've been maybe a little bit lucky with that because I like to take early transfers, um, like to have a good team value, and I haven't been punished with like an injury this season. Uh, so I'm just interested, but maybe it's one of those seasons where you're not
Yeah.
that punished doing that way, and maybe next season I would be punished. So
Yeah, exactly. Actually did some early transfers come this game week because I
mhm.
saw both Pogba, Salah, and Digne was going up in price, so I just had to move fast because the times I do early transfers is when they're gonna be priced out of my range.
Mm.
Then I'm gonna move fast because you always hate to be priced out of
Yeah,
a
yeah,
good plan you have.
yeah, yeah. And so, formation-wise, what formation do you use mostly, and which have worked for you?
I think the one I've had most success with is the 3-5-2. I don't. I tend to start with the 3-4-3 because then you have a good balance of three defenders, three attackers, and the four in the mid, and you can have a quite strong team with some bench fodder in. So that's my start, but usually I tend to end up with the 3-5-2 because the game usually moves towards favoring midfielders after a while.
Yeah, I
It
agree. Yeah,
always seems like it. It's like the start of the season, everyone wants to go defenders, so it's 4 defenders, 5 defenders, someone, and then everyone thinking, oh, look, now there's a bunch of good strikers there, and then everyone goes to 3-4-3, and around this time, everyone plays 3-5-2 or 3-4-3. I guess it's
yeah,
sort of how it balances out, I guess.
yeah. I guess it changes. guys' forms changes, so that means formation must change. You have to be adaptable. But I
Yeah,
saw,
exactly.
yeah, I saw one good example of your 3-5-2. You had actually benched Jimenez one game week. I think game week 8 when he faced Palace, and
Yeah.
he scored an assist. So did you not trust Jimenez, or did you just like the midfielders too much?
What game it was in?
8,
8?
yeah.
I think it was still in the early Wolves days, I guess. So I didn't trust Jimenez as much and didn't have the information and trust in him as I've usually had before. Or do you have now? Because now I just want to play Jimenez. Is like, why not?
But I think it was you who tried to bench Jimenez last week, right? And I said you should play him.
Yeah, I still had some weird trust in Callum Wilson because he'd given me so much
Okay.
during the several game weeks. So it was still some trust there in him. But yeah, I appreciate that Jimenez one. Unfortunately, he decided to take off his shirt. So yeah.
That's bad. I was thinking about also the bench because a lot of people have tried to have a good bench during the Christmas. What was your take on that?
I feel my bench is pretty much set in stone and it's been like that forever now because I have had Bennett and I think Wan-Bissaka has been there since game week 1. And Bennett, I think, also has been there since game week 1.
Hmm.
And other than that, it's the rotating either forward or midfielder that has been sitting first spot on the bench. And Hammer is my goalkeeper sub, which he doesn't play, but rarely goalkeepers are rested. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Who do you have in goal now?
Fabianski.
Yeah. You looking to upgrade the Hamer, or are you happy with Fabianski for the rest of the season or something?
It all depends on West Ham now. They started to look a little shaky, but Fabianski usually picks up points even though he's not getting the clean sheet. He can climb up towards a clean sheet points anyway because he had so many saves. And that's one of the earlier strategies I always went for is have a cheap keeper behind a bad defense. So, because then in turn you get a lot of save points. Obviously, Fabianski has been one of those because he has moved around. But also Ben Foster was one of the heroes I've had in the back, and of course Heaton is one of them. Nick Pope is one of them. So I usually like to have the cheap goalkeeper. I never really see any value in having the expensive one, except maybe last year when I saw De Gea might have been the choice to go for anyway.
Yeah, interesting point. I think I figured it out this season a little late that Fabianski was such a good option.
Yeah.
But I got him in fairly quickly, and he has been really good for me. So that's a good point.
Yeah.
So let's go talk a little deeper about general strategies and not so much this season. Are there any important strengths that you consider that you possess as an FPL manager?
I think I'm patient. I think patience is maybe the most important thing in fantasy because you tend to rush to get those quick points, and when you get a bad game week, you go wild and just want to switch your entire team. But there's a funny example. I think game week 19, I had almost 80 points, and game week 20, I had 39. So, and I didn't do any transfers in between those two games weeks, and those bad scoring game weeks, you tend to get a little bit anxious and thinking, "Oh my God, my team is crap. I want to change everyone." So, but I think patience is the most important thing because looking at, for example, Hazard, I've kept faith in him for a while, and he paid his dividends every now and then. Aubameyang now, he keeps on banging in goals. People that have been patient with Salah all of a sudden gets 13, 13, 13 points 3 game weeks in a row. And so I think, and the same story was with Ramsey last year, I remember, because he kept hitting the post and he was always in the dangerous position, but he never got the ball inside the goal. And all of a sudden he started to fire off like a madman, and then he got injured, as he always does. But for my part, I think just being patient is one of the most important thing.
Cool.
But then again, you have to weigh it a little bit up with the price of the players. Like for me, being patient with Salah is harder than being patient with Callum Wilson, because you invest so much in a player like Salah or Kane or Alonso as well. I don't know why I've been so patient with Alonso now, because it's actually funny because I saw fantasy scout Andy said that we all got swayed by Alonso's first game weeks where he banged in goals, and after that you have paid 7 million for clean sheets, which you can have paid 4.5 for Bennett doing the same thing.
I agree. Yeah, I'm looking to sell Alonso and actually Robertson.
Yeah.
We were talking about the ARM or whatever
Yeah.
there with Mendy. So saying that in the beginning of the season was
So they now said previously you had the arm, now you have the dad. So it's Digna, Arnold, and Doherty.
Doherty. Yeah, yeah. I'm also interested in why Johnny is not mentioned so much, because he's been injured and missing a couple of games. I think people have forgotten him because he was almost as good as Doherty.
Yeah.
So he's interesting too.
So I think Doherty is overshadowing him pretty much.
Yeah, sure.
Everyone's living in his grace.
Yeah. So you talked about your strengths. Do you have any weaknesses that you're aware of?
Things like me being all of a sudden rushing things, like coming into this game week, I might have rushed with taking in Salah and taking in Pogba, and you tend to be swayed by the bandwagons. It's when you see a player score big, you're like, oh my god, I want this player. Who should I sell? And then you start thinking unclear. And sometimes I'm a little too stubborn on my own part. So I'm so confident in, for instance, Lingard being what Lingard was last year, but he is in a way, but he's just a different role in the kind of way he plays out there. But I think that is one of my weaknesses, that I tend to be a little bit swayed by big holes, and I kind of get anxious when I have the bad game weeks, and sometimes I like to take risks. So I can't do a stupid captain choice because I think this might be fun and I might gain a lot.
Okay. So the importance of fun is what
Yeah,
bring
you
you
want
down.
to have some fun, even though
Yeah.
playing a templated team might be the best strategy. It's a little dull,
Mm.
but the risky punt part is always fun, trying to find that one player that people tend to forget. So that's always fun.
So your risks, would you say that your risks that you're taking are more towards like risky transfers or risky captaincy choices?
Could be both. Sometimes more captain choices than anything else. I like doing the odd captain choice every now and then. Like, I haven't done it that much this year, but I'd done it sometimes. It usually tends being Hazard when nobody believes Hazard, because I always believe Hazard. There's a little Chelsea bias hanging in there, uh, but also players that have looked good watching a game. I like to try to cap to see what happens, because all of a sudden you have that 1% capped player that no one else has, and then you all of a sudden rise a lot in rank. But
Yeah. And what are your goals for this season?
my goal always is to beat my friend that finished an OR of 500, and he said if you beat that rank, I can accept that you're better than me. But he's quit playing now. But I beat him last year. He was way out of top, like 50K somewhere. But he has that over 500 that he always brags about when I get a good ranking. Oh, you're not there yet. So that's always my goal. But that one is quite difficult. So at least I want to beat my last year score of 3.1K. So at least top 3K now. It would have been fun to be top 1K. It's always fun to have that 3-digit rank.
Yeah,
It's hard.
looks cool.
It looks cool. I actually have a 3-digit team ID. That was always fun. You're
Yeah,
always
that's right.
chasing to have the lowest ID, but so I managed to have a real low FPL ID.
One last thing. Do you have any suggestion for the name of the show? Because this is going to be like a guest thing.
Yeah. Well, that's always hard.
Yeah,
Trying to be creative. That's always the hard part.
yeah, because we have the name of the channel is FPL Gents. So I
Yeah.
was thinking about Gentlemen's Club. What do you think about that?
That's actually not bad.
Okay,
Yeah,
might
actually
go
not.
for that.
Yeah.
We'll see in the title later.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this was such a great experience talking to you.
Yeah, it's
We-
awesome just being here.
yeah, we're gonna definitely do it again sometime soon, I think.
Yeah, that's cool.
One. Yeah, okay, I'll hear from you.
Yeah, hear from you too.
Have a good time and good
Yeah,
luck.
you too. Good luck.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.